I'm trying to see if I can get all this stuff up and running. All right, so we're starting to record. This is just so I can see like how it's going to work with my video editing software and stuff like that, and if there's anything I need to change as far as like or like lighting or anything like that. But everybody looks good, so you all look beautiful. All right, so I guess I'll start. So I just want to make sure I pronounce everybody's name right. I mean, they're pretty simple. So like Adam, Paul, Brittany, or is that fine? My name's going to be a little weird. My name's Heidi, but it looks like Haiti. So that might take a little bit for everybody to get used to. I get it all the time, so no worries. My parents were in classical name after my grandmother. So I'm the kid that never finds their name on a tag or anything like that. So I'm 28. I'm from Central Massachusetts. I'm a restaurant like bar manager, and I just really wanted to try doing something like this. I'm like really nervous. This is terrible. Okay. All right. I'll just go in counterclockwise. So Paul.
Okay, I'm Paul. I'm obviously in the UK. It's midnight at the minute, so you've all kept me from my beauty sleep. 36 years old. Currently unemployed. I've got a job interview tomorrow that I'm going to, but I've just left I've worked in our prison service for 15 years as a prison officer. So I've just left that job basically. Yeah, I'm from Nottingham, which is right in the middle of the UK. Not a lot of people. Obviously, we're only a tiny little island, so not a lot of people know where we are or what we're doing. But yeah, that's about it for me, really.
All right, Brittany.
Hi, I'm also like really nervous, which is weird. I'm 31. I'm from Holyoke, Massachusetts, Western Mass, right next to Springfield. You know where that is? About an hour and a half away from Boston. I work in admissions at a university. That's my day job. I do a little bit of like Disney planning on the side, like I said, but just mostly for friends and family. And I'm a Disney nut. I'm a Disney nut. And that's why I wanted to do this. I guess that's it. I don't know.
No, that's perfect. I know it's going to be weird, I think, a little bit until we do this a few times. Just unless anybody's ever done anything like this before. I know, Adam, you're in broadcasting, right? So this is like really comfortable for you, I'm sure.
It's like whatever. So.
All right, you can go ahead, Adam.
So I'm 21. I go to college in Plattsburgh, New York, which is like basically in Canada. It's like -5 degrees outside right now. I major in like broadcast journalism, like you said, and audio radio production. I deliver pizzas part-time. And yeah, just kind of working right now and hanging out. And I've been going to Disney since I was a little kid, and I'm obsessed. So
All right. So this is really cool because it's kind of exactly what I had in mind. Like the average like Disney fan from like different areas. I think it's great that Paul's from England, that Brittany does like the vacation planning on the side, that like you're a student. I think it's a nice mix of like different people. So it'll have like nice different opinions. But obviously we all are Disney weirdos or else we wouldn't be like tracker, like all this kind of stuff. So that's neat. Don't mind my ears. The only reason why I put them on was I just wanted to see like what it would, how corny it looks like on the screen, or like.
Seriously, I was like this close to putting ears on too.
Okay, so that was like
I saw you with them, and I was like, oh man, I should have put mine on.
Yeah, no. It's my Little Mermaid ear. Should go my Little Mermaid shirt, but you can't see it. But I'm obsessed with like ear collecting. I have like a really strange assortment of ears, and the weirder they are, the better.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was maybe something you guys would want to, not obviously the guys don't have to wear ears, but if you guys wanted to wear like Disney shirts or whatever, or have like a Disney mug with you, or depending on how we go, like what we navigate, what we talk best about, we can kind of form stuff from there. I guess just so that we can delve into like the Disney thing, I had a few like Disney questions for everybody. The first one was, how many times have you been? So we can start with Paul.
Oh, okay. So I've been to Disneyland Paris once.
Oh, cool.
And
like life goals for me.
Orlando. 6 times, maybe 5 or 6, which might not seem a lot, but obviously from the UK,
that's a lot.
A fair amount of time. And other than that, that's the only 2 I'm like gutted with myself. I went to Los Angeles once, and I never went to Disneyland.
Oh.
And I feel like really like I missed out on a chance.
Not like super close though, so it's
no.
There's like hour and a half, couple hours between like Anaheim and LA, depending on the traffic's terrible there.
So, it's just the just Disneyland. I keep wanting to call it Euro Disney, Disneyland Paris and Orlando. That's basically it. Excuse me.
All right, Britt.
So
if I call you Britt, I'm sorry.
Yeah, nope, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how many times I've been. Probably somewhere around 20, counting when I was a little kid.
Okay.
But like as an adult, I've probably been 8 or 9 times, maybe. I just went in October, and I'm going again in March. So
well, that's exciting.
Excited.
Okay, Adam.
So I went to Disneyland when I was like a kid, but I was like really young, so I don't remember that. And I've been to Disney World like 14 times, I think, 13 or 14 times.
Okay, so that's a lot. That's
almost every year. There were a few years during high school we didn't go,
but I think what's cool is not everybody goes to the park like all the time.
Right.
So that'll create a different perspective too, that for the normal average person that watches and is a fan of Disney, they don't get to go to the park all the time. So what does that mean for the fan that only gets to go maybe once a year or once every like few years? And what we think is like a good thing to go and see, and what's maybe something that they could skip, or something like that.
Right, yeah, I agree. Like a lot of the Disney content is like people that live in Florida and have like annual passes and stuff, so they're gonna be like more biased. Like if I'm going to Florida, I'm gonna like hit certain things, and I'm not gonna waste my time doing so.
Right. Like there'll be certain things that are not gonna get old to you, or things that are not gonna annoy you as much because you expect that going into a vacation or going into a place that has a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, I've been to Disneyland probably more times than I've been to Disney World, and that's only because I was raised by Coastal. So I was born and raised in like Worcester, Mass, but my mom lived in Vegas. So I would spend summers and vacations out there, and so we went to Disneyland quite often. So it's like a weird like East Coast, I'd go there, and that's probably where like the beginning of my magical moments started. But I went to Disney World for the first time when I was 12. Which was 15 years ago, and then we just went last year with my husband. It was our first time as adults. He hadn't been in like 20 something years, and I hadn't been in like 15 years, so that was like really exciting. And I think from there, I got like, I've always been a Disney kid, but like I got like the bug about the parks just because you got to do Disney the way you wanted to do it. Because when you're younger, your family's on a budget. You don't get to like eat in the restaurants or like get all the souvenirs or get to go see this show or that show. So I became pretty obsessed. So now this year, I guess, we're going in February because we're going to Daytona for a week and then we're going to go to Disney for a few days. And then we're planning a trip for December. So I have a really bad feeling that we're going to end up getting the Disney Vacation Club. I'm somehow going to have to talk my husband into it. He's going to think I'm crazy, but that's okay. What would you say is your favorite Disney park? Like, and I would probably get more specific, like Disney World and like which, like Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom or whatever, and why. Paul?
I think for me, Magic Kingdom it's just Magic Kingdom. So it's almost like you have to discount that anyway, because as far as anyone going to Disney, I think that's the image that you see. So the way I'd look at this is, if I'd gone to Disney and I've been to Magic Kingdom, so if I'm sat in the morning in a hotel, where would I be choosing to go? Now, it's probably 8 or 9 years since I last went. Hollywood Studios always used to be a favourite. As much as I do like rides or roller coasters, that type of thing, I don't think Disney is a part you go for things like that. It's about the show. And I've always found that the things at Hollywood Studios, they're the attractions that I prefer the most. They're a bit more suited to my preferences and what have you. I'll go and sit at Magic Kingdom all day and watch the parade and see all the princesses and what have you, but the Hollywood Studios is the thing for me, really. I think if I was asked to pin a choice down, it would be that one.
Awesome. Brittany?
So mine's definitely Epcot. I'm a like wicked foodie and I love to drink, and that's where you go to do all those things. So as an adult, that's definitely like my favorite one. It was my least favorite when I was a kid, and now I can't get enough of it. Every trip I pretty much spend more time there than I do any other park. So I would say that's definitely my favorite one.
Okay, cool. Adam?
I agree with Paul. There's like something about the Magic Kingdom that you can't really replicate anywhere else, but I'm with you, Brittany. Epcot's where to go. Love food, and I could ride Spaceship Earth probably over and over all day and just never get bored. So that's where I'd be.
Okay, cool. So I being obsessed with like Disney movies and just all that kind of stuff, and it's not that it's the best right now, but I remember going to Hollywood Studios as a kid, and when I went there for the first time, it had all the magic of like movies and Disney movies and things like that, like the Great Movie Ride. And even when we went last August and there was nothing there, I still, for some reason, like the Voyage of the Little Mermaid show and like going into Star Wars and stuff, like that excitement of movies and what it's going to become. Like, I'm obsessed for Star Wars, and I'm like, I cannot freaking wait. Like, I'm trying to count down the 499 days until I can book a reservation for a hotel, because I know they're going to be packed. But I kind of have like a little obsession with each of the parks in different reasons. I can tell you what park I don't like, which is Animal Kingdom. For some reason, doesn't do anything for me, with the exception of Flight of Passage. But so I guess I would go into favorite ride. So if that gets hard, I understand. So you can pick a top 3, because I know that's really hard. Paul looks like he may need a minute, so I'm gonna shift over and go the opposite way. We'll start with Adam.
All right, like I said, Spaceship Earth, like I could ride all day, every day. So that's got to be my number 1. Number 2 is probably Splash Mountain, just for the music and the show and part of it, And probably the People Mover. Yeah, I don't know. Something about the People Mover, like when you come around the corner and they get the view of the castle, like on the end there of Tomorrowland, like that's Disney to me, like right there. So I'd probably the People Mover.
Cool. Brittany?
Okay, so this is really hard. I'm probably gonna go with the Tower of Terror is in my top 3, and the Haunted Mansion for very similar reasons. I love like spooky and that sort of thing. And then for my third one, I would probably say Journey into Imagination with Figment, just because I love Figment, and because that not so much for the iteration that we have right now, but I remember the old version with like the Dreamfinder, and it just used to be like Figment was my world when I was a kid, and I still just like love him to pieces.
Oh, there. Oh, go ahead, Paul.
Okay, I've given this some thought. Mission Space, I think, would probably be my top one. Rock and Roller Coaster, and then it's one of the ones that I know isn't there anymore, but I really like the car stunt show, the Lights, Motors, Action at MGM or Hollywood Studios.
You can call it MGM.
That's you know what I mean.
I call it MGM.
Always that was a big favourite, and then towards the end of its run, when they introduced Lightning McQueen, just as a little nod to Cars, because Cars is one of, in my opinion, it's one of the underrated Disney films. It gets a lot of hate, but I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Cars. So
I'm with you on that. There's a Cars blanket on my bed behind me.
Mine are kind of like all over the place. Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean, just because they're like OG rides, and I love all the detailing that they don't bring into the new rides. So those are like top 2 tied kind of thing. Space Mountain, obsessed. It's just, you don't know what's coming. It's in the dark. It's and then it's a weird one, but Who Framed Roger Rabbit at Disneyland. I loved Roger Rabbit. I don't know why. It was one of those movies you remember as a kid, and I remember that was one of the first Disney rides at Ford. To me, it felt like the most thrilling thing in the world. So these are for Brittany. Brittany, have you seen these? The Figment, the 2017 Food and Wine.
Yeah, I was there for Food and Wine this year, and I almost bought them, and I didn't, and I like wicked regret it.
You shouldn't. They're so ridiculous.
I did get the little backpack though.
Oh, cool. Okay, you got the backpack. All right.
Yeah, I know. I need Figment ears. I need them. They are missing from my life, and I need them.
You could probably get some awesome ones like custom made. I just had never seen them made by Disney before, like regular Figment ears.
Yeah, Disney's been stepping up their game with the ears lately. Yeah. I think because they're trying to compete with all those like small shops that are making them.
Yep. And they have like the new like interchange. You can change out the bow.
Yeah, those are so cool.
Yeah, I need to get on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the last one. What vlogs other than Tim Tracker do you guys like follow? Go with Paul.
What, specifically to Disney or in general?
Park, yeah, like in that kind of realm, Disney park. It could be a Universal one.
There's a fair few that I wouldn't say I follow as such. They just kind of pop up on my feed because of what I watch. There's a one, I can't think what it's called actually. There's a young couple that are from the UK that post all their vlogs basically. They do good 45, 50-minute vlogs for each day that they're there, so and post them every couple of days. So to see like a 2-week holiday can take a month to watch basically all of what they put in. I can't think what it's called. I think it's Disney Daily, I think it's called. Other than that, I'm not a big one for subscribing to things on YouTube. I just like to see what pops up on my feed, and if the thumbnail or the title of it interests me, I'll have a click on it. I'm very much more into. I do like seeing what people are doing in the parks. I like a lot of almost like the behind the scenes stuff. I like a lot of the trivia and a lot of the facts and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So that tends to be a lot of the Disney content that I watch. Tends to be a lot of the you may not know this type of things and that kind of kind of thing, really.
All right, cool. Brittany?
Tim's the only one that I really watch like regularly, like every video he posts I watch, but every once in a while I'll check in with the Ears to You, Brock and Promise, because they're precious, and the Oh Yeah Disney couple, I'll watch there sometimes. They do a lot of like different stuff, like they just went to Tokyo Disneyland, which was like super interesting, so I'll check in with them every once in a while, but they don't post like that often. So
cool. Adam?
I watch Justin Starr. He lives in California and goes to Disneyland a lot. Adam Nawu. Who else? Oh, Michael K. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's a smaller one. He only has like 3,000 subscribers, but he like takes a couple trips a year and does vlogs and stuff.
Okay.
There was one other one I had. I don't remember, but if I remember, I'll let you know.
Cool. So yeah, Tim Tracker. Not so much vlogs, but like DSNY newscasts, just because it's like they're really informative and there's stuff like you don't hear about just like in general. And then the Diz and the Diz Unplugged kind of stuff, because I'm a weirdo and can listen to people talk about stuff like that. So kind of. And I've seen Ears to You, and then there's a vlogger. I can't remember. She does only the restaurants. Like she'll go to like the different restaurants and like she does reviews, and she has her theme song is the theme song from The Princess and the Frog. I like the Take Me Down song. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of her. I'll have to get the name. I can't really remember. The only reason why I brought that up is a question, because I didn't know if you guys would be into not reviewing like vlog posts, like not like critiquing or anything, but just if say Tim Tracker came out with something that was interesting and we'd all seen it that week, we could talk about it or whatever. And maybe that would be one of the main things we do, or like any like news that we heard about that week or every couple weeks. I don't know how often we're going to do this, just because I know our base schedules are kind of tough. I didn't know if that was something you guys would be interested in doing or whatnot. But I guess the next thing would be what topics do you guys want to cover? I mean, there's so much to cover. So I don't know if we could do a specific, maybe for the first few episodes, like concentrating on specific stuff. Like, who wants to start? Adam.
There's like the basics, like news, obviously, and like you said, I like that idea of talking about different vlogs and stuff. The other thing I was thinking of before that I couldn't remember was Lou Mangello's podcast, WDW Radio. I listen to that every week. Trying to think what else. The problem is like we're not all there, so there's not always a lot to talk about.
Right.
But I definitely do like the idea of discussing like stuff going on like on the internet. Disney.
Right. Like rumors and stuff, like not talking like we're experts. Well, with the exception of maybe Brittany, because she does the vacation planning and stuff.
Right.
Like that. But just as far as a perspective of like when you hear something, what was like more reactions? Like say some Disney comes out with, oh, we're doing this special thing or we're coming out this new land. What is our all initial reactions to it? Like I just like the real idea of like the fan perspective. I'm not claiming to be anything. I don't think anybody is. I think we're all just looking at this from a fan perspective and just having like a platform to talk about it, because I think a lot of people relate to that. You can see it in the way the Tim Tracker group is. Everybody, like anytime there's a question about Disney or whatever, or somebody gets excited about something, everybody has an opinion on it. And I know they like watching other people's opinions. So
yeah, that would be a good spot to mine controversy from as well. Like
right.
If anything's going on in the group, we can talk about that. Like we'll know that that's something that people want to
research. Yeah, like where the trends are going, what people want to talk about more. Yeah, definitely.
Can we just not discuss the fact that Tim shaved his mustache off? Because I'll be honest with you.
Are you mad?
I can't. No, I can't believe people are getting so upset
why
about
do you
it.
get so crazy about it? I'm like, he's a being. Just leave him to it. With all his logos. I feel like you put all that money into all his like branding, and now there's no mustache. Besides that, though, I think he looks great. He looks young.
I don't know why people are getting so mad about it, but like you said, it's definitely an issue. Like that's kind of his like identity,
right?
On YouTube is the mustache, so
right.
It's concerning. But
yeah.
How weird must that be for him? Like he shaves his mustache, and like all of these strangers are like have an opinion about it. Like that's so.
Right. But I mean, he also knows though, as a vlogger, he wouldn't have live streamed it if he knew it wasn't going to get a reaction and get views. He's not an idiot. I mean, they're great people and they seem like they have a lot of fun and they're pretty genuine, but you have to know, like, you have to be smart about what you're doing. They wouldn't have that many viewers if he didn't knew it wasn't, if it wasn't going to get a reaction, he would have just shaved it and then showed up in a video. Yeah. So it was interesting. I was just surprised he streamed it. I didn't think he was going to do that.
I was surprised too.
Yeah. But then he had to know how, like, it was a big deal. It was like, it had like, there was like 30,000 people watching. It already has like 33,000 views.
I think I'm sad I watched it live.
Did you?
And I think it was 8,000 people watching.
I was watching it live too. I had nothing else to do, and I was like,
I watched it a couple hours after because we were just with family because it was New Year's Day. But I mean, I got the notification, but I was in a conversation, so I probably would have.
I was bummed when I got he tweeted about it or whatever, but then I had to work, so I didn't get to see it until I came home.
Oh. Okay. Right. So does anybody else have like any ideas about what you want to talk about?
Well, I did. I've got some notes. I did jot some notes down. Okay. So I'd said general news from around the parks, which you've obviously already said. Discussions about any park expansions. So obviously is it Galaxy's Edge? They're calling it the Disney the Star Wars discussion. Any upcoming Disney projects or trailers? So if there's been any actual movie trailers, could probably have a look at them and discuss what's been seen on there. Anything that's Disney related that's perhaps in mainstream news. There's a big thing. I literally got a breaking news notification in England about this thing of Disney hotels not having "Do Not Disturb" signs on the doors anymore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like literally that pinged up on my phone as breaking news. So I thought about, not specifically that, but if there's anything that's Disney related that has made it into mainstream news, whether that might be worth discussing. And then something perhaps not every single time we recorded, but perhaps pick a movie to look at and watch and have a review. If it's something that's a new that no one's seen or something that you've seen a long time ago, a chance to have a re-watch and see what people's opinions are and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Brittany?
Yeah, I kind of had something similar. I wrote down a few notes too. Like with anything that's like upcoming, like we could talk about since it just was the new year, like things that we are excited for that are coming to the parks or whatever in 2018, or things that maybe we're not excited for that we, like for example, if we were like bummed that Alan's Energy Adventure closed and Guardians of the Galaxy was going in or something. Personally, I'm not, but something like that. Also, like I said, I'm going back in March, so my FastPass Plus reservations open on Saturday, actually. So, I mean, that would be an opportunity to talk about like FastPass Plus and like how it works, why you choose the rides that you choose, or whatever. I don't know. That's it. That's all I got.
No, I think these are really all great ideas. So the only, I think the news and like the rumor mill idea is great. I'm almost thinking about doing as maybe it's like a segment, like maybe like a 10-15 minute part of the discussion, but more of like a reaction to it. I don't want people coming and thinking, oh, we're going to give you the breakdown on every single like insider news. We don't know. Like, I mean, we can get what we get from the internet, but more of like looking to like what our reaction is. So like rumor reaction, maybe that's like the first like 10 minutes or something like that. And then we go into like a discussion on topic like, okay, Brittany has her fast pass thing coming up, her selection. So somebody has a story about something, and then we go into what would be your picks for your fast passes, or like, and how do you like when you go to the park? How do you like map them out? Just like as the typical like your typical approach to how you do things. I think that's a really great idea. I don't know what you guys think about that. So like half rumor reaction, half like news fan reaction, and then the other half will do something that's not necessarily that has to be current. Like It could be like where we go into like our favorite ride or something like that. Or maybe we get a topic inspiration from the rumors of what's going on or whatever. Like, so say there was something about Galaxy's Edge. Maybe a topic would be like if you had to choose a new idea for a Disneyland, like, or a Disney, like for a movie to get a land, what would it be? Why? You know, I always want there to be like a Nightmare Before Christmas, like Halloween Town Land, like, or Villain Land. That'll never happen, but a girl can dream. All right, cool. Does anybody have any name ideas?
I was thinking all day yesterday, and I couldn't come up with a single thing. I don't know. Everything I thought of, I would like, that sounds like it's probably a thing, and then I'd look it up, and then it was a thing. So I wasn't getting very creative, apparently.
Britt?
Yeah, I mean, I put out like our initials to see if they spelled anything, and the only thing I came up with was Fab with a PH, which is like super lame. So that's all I got.
Good job, Tor. I think, Paul, you had an idea, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just looking through Disney quotes.
Oh, okay.
And there was I've not written the full quote down, but there was a quote by Walt Disney about growing up in general, which he ends with, "Adults are just kids growing up anyway." And I quite like the idea of kids growing up.
That's cute.
Because at the end of the day, I'd like to think we're all grown-ups, but we're all been united by something that's traditionally for kids, really, I suppose. So that was my little idea.
I like that a lot.
I like that.
I like that.
The only thing I could come up with was me and my husband were talking and just like being more of like a reaction or like fan discussion. Like from the, you know how they say everybody's a critic from the couch kind of thing. The only thing I could think of was like the mouse couch, but I think that's kind of lame. So I kind of like kids grown up better. Let me look, and I kind of really like that name. I think everybody else kind of likes that name. And did you happen to like look on YouTube and see if anybody else has like a name like that?
I didn't, to be honest with you, but
Okay,
let's have a...
so let me run through the search engines just to make sure there's nothing that's like too similar or anything. I don't want to steal anybody's like stuff, but I think that's a really cute idea. That way it doesn't say we end up talking about Universal or other different things that are kind of in the same universe. It doesn't tie us down to just specifically Disney, but I think you can make it Disney with the title of the videos. Like when people search, they'll search for that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Do you guys have an idea about how often do you guys want to maybe plan for one for next week, and then we can kind of just see from there what we think?
Yeah, that works for me.
That works.
All right. I haven't gotten my work schedule yet. I don't know if everybody else needs to look at their schedule too and see.
Yeah, I don't get my schedule till Thursday, so I can let you know like Thursday night or Friday morning.
Okay. Yeah, so that sounds good. Does that work for everybody? We'll just keep the group chat going on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've
got my thing tomorrow, so I'll
Yay,
hopefully
good luck, by the way.
know some more. Thank you.
Good luck.
So I know how stressful that job is. So I'm not surprised that you got out of it. He's been doing it for 30 years. I don't know how he does it. But. All right, guys. Anything else you want to close out with or opinions?
No, I think we're all good.
All right, cool. I'm gonna mess with this and I'm gonna see what it looks like on my system. But I like the format, like the 4-panel, like, and that's how it'll record. The only thing I have to think of is how we can get our last names off of.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wants their name out there like that, like their full name.
Right.
I think there's a way we can all do that ourselves before we start recording.
Probably.
It's like an option to get your name off. All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, you guys have a good night. Paul, thanks
Yes.
for up. It was awesome
And
to know you guys.
Nice meeting you guys.
See you later.
Bye.